first start off by thanking Mr. Roger Bryan, Mr. Michael Ouellette, and Mr. Paul for allowing us to be here today. My name is Ephraim Gibson, and I'm with 3 team members of mine, Ms. Brianna Williams, Ms. Erica Boswell, and Ms. Asha Hill. We were sophomore students representing the T.LAB at Detroit World Outreach. In this case study analysis, we are board members being asked by the media to show how we plan to resolve the $272 billion problem that is the BP oil spill. We will go over first the key issues that caused the spill, then recommendations on how to prevent and fix the spill, and lastly, impact of the spill. There are 4 main aspects to this. There's environmental impact, ethical and social impact, failure of leadership, and environmental or financial impact. At the end of the day, the bottom line is trying to prevent another $272 billion crisis. Oh, sorry. We had discussion questions to help guide our analysis for this research. What communication problems were BP facing to lessons learned, or will we see another crisis in the future? I'll just did the introduction. Ms. Boswell will be doing the issues. Ms. Williams is the recommendations, and again, I'll be going over the impact.
Okay, so my name's Erica, and first one of the issues was poor preventative maintenance. For example, BP, their metal casing wasn't good enough to withstand high pressure because the cement that they used wasn't enough to seal it to the ground. And also, the materials that they used were very light and they were cheap, which means that the quality wasn't as good as other materials they could have used, leaving the safety not a priority. The stakeholders at risk were a lot more than you would expect, but some of them were the shareholders, the employers, the suppliers, and the environment. Tony Hayward is our CEO of BP, and we as a whole community didn't have a disaster plan in case of this sort of disaster. So we believe that our stability begins and ends with him, so we don't think he should stay.
Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Brianna Williams, and I'm here to give you guys and show you guys about the recommendations we have to fix the oil spill. My first recommendation is to implement the state-of-the-art preventive maintenance program. All this simply means to get better machines, better tools, and better people, better systems to help make sure that there is nothing else that can happen. When I say better tools, I mean top of the line, not just the cheapest, but the very best to ensure safety of people, safety of the environment, and safety of the profits. My second recommendation is to hire a public relations firm to execute a detailed plan for gaining public trust. Many people invested millions of dollars into BP. With them investing millions of dollars, they had so much trust, and they lost this trust when all their stocks crashed. My third recommendation is to establish performance metrics for safety and corporate responsibility. All this simply means is that safety needs to be number one priority, as well as the company taking responsibility for what they've really done. My fourth recommendation is to create 3 boards: employee safety, social responsibility, and environment. We want to establish these boards to create and ensure that people know that those are our top 3 priorities. And my last and final recommendation is to formulate a corporate disaster plan. All this really means is to have a backup plan for any sort of situation, not just an oil spill, anything that could possibly occur. Thank you. Now for
If we implement those recommendations that Ms. Williams stated, BP as a whole should see increased market capitalization. We should be able to have the ability to address any disaster while minimizing negative impact. We should meet corporate social responsibility requirements. The company will be able to ensure that our stakeholders in a safe environment for investing in us. We'll be able to maximize investments in capital assets, and mainly sustain the growth that we are able to achieve after these recommendations are implemented.
yes. That's it. Any questions?
going to let him go? He's the CEO.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What, studying it the way you have, what is one thing had he done differently might have kept his job?
Well, if he would have, instead of waiting, seeing how people reacted when the oil spill happened, if we, not only him, but as a whole corporation together would have immediately taken action and said it's our fault and immediately gone to do what we need to do to be able to fix this and minimize the damages, which were numerous, we could have easily looked better as a whole. Yes, we did make a mistake, but if we would have showed initiative to try to fix the mistake, they would have shown that it was a mistake. It wasn't just a careless problem that we just didn't want to have.
I feel that Mr. Hayward, he should have not just replied faster, but he should have taken more care into it. He did make a lot of, I want to say, selfless comments about the whole situation. I feel he should have taken more care into it.
Do you worry that you've been now through 2 CEOs in, I think it was the past decade, in BP Oil? Do you worry, if we run this story, that you guys are firing Mr. Hayward, do you worry about the backlash? Like, oh, BP is very unstable, it can't keep its CEO, maybe there's an underlying issue, not necessarily to do with the CEO?
Well, us firing CEO, you said it'd be backlash, but we're trying to fix the problem. If we kept him in there, it'd be showing that we don't care about the problem, that we're willing to say, hey, he made a mistake, but we don't really care. But since we're firing him, we show that we're taking initiative to try to find a better guy that we believe will do better and implement the recommendations that we stated to show growth in the company.
I really feel that we should take the initiative for the consumers. Firing Mr. Hayward will ensure better product for the consumers, not for ourselves. We're taking into consideration what our customers will believe and what's going on with them. So firing Mr. Hayward is not really something going on in the corporate world, it's going on with our consumers.
Yeah. So my question for you is then, out of the recommendations that you had, if you can go back to that one slide, please. So out of the recommendations that you have, now to reach out to our citizens, to reach out to all the people that are affected, not just the shareholders, what would you pick right now? The number one, that if you could pick one to use, that could help us together, work together and help it reach to our citizens.
I would personally pick number 4, establish the more community.
Why?
Because I feel that maybe we can do newspapers in the media, and CNN News or something to that nature. I feel that people will understand that what we're trying to do, we're trying to ensure safety with our workers, social responsibility, taking action on what we've really done, and for the environment. A lot of people do not appreciate when the environment is destroyed, so I feel like if we establish that with them, it will be known and they will understand what's going on.
Great job, guys.